Friday prayers at Tehran University. This is what most people in the West expect to see in Iran. Religious fanatics gathering to condemn America and pledge loyalty to their leaders. The sermon is given by former President Ali Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani. Ten years ago, this pavilion would have been packed with Islamic radicals from the university. Today it's a much smaller and older crowd, mostly bussed in from mosques around town. Young Iranians have found a much better way of spending their Fridays. They come to the mountains surrounding Tehran to picnic, dance and flirt, activities the mullahs have banned.
Ciao. اینجا ناییم جای دیگه نداریم بریم. تفریحمون همینه دیگه جای دیگه نمیتونیم بریم.
2/3 of Iran's population is under the age of 30. The chant here is for freedom of expression and reform.
آزادی فقط ما نمیگیم آزادی باشه که مثلا ما این رو سری رو سرمون نکنیم. آدم بتونه حرفشو بزنه. آزادی بیان داشته باشه.
Nearly 70% of the country and most of its youth voted for reform in 1997 when they elected Mohammad Khatami as president. In 2001, he was re-elected with an increased majority. But in Iran, real power rests not with the president, but the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei. The Ayatollah is Iran's religious leader, but he also controls the military, the police and the courts. The hardliners are still in charge, and their enforcers are never far away.
تازه امروز آمده بودیم اون بالا فقط منتظر بودیم یکی مثلا مزاحممون بشه بگه مثلا چرا این تیپی اومدی؟ خوبه حال میکنی؟ مثلا چرا مثلا مانتو تنت نیست یا مثلا چرا موهات از اینجا زده بیرون؟ چرا موش لبت پررنگه؟ ترسم داره چون اگه بخوام بگیرم ببرن دیگه میریم اونجایی که عرب نمیبندازه.
It doesn't take long before the Basiji or undercover moral police to appear and stop our interview.
What company you get this conversation?
We are journalists from Australia, and we're just doing a story about Iran and talking to young people about their life,
the lifestyle here.
یا بخواید چیز بیشتری بگید میتونیم بریم یه جایی که کسی نباشه ولی
صحبتمون اینه که اینجا برامون مسئله است. مثلا بچه‌ها گفتن میگن اینجا برامون مسئله ساز نشه. به منم گفتن
Later, in the safety of a friend's house, we continue the conversation. These young students are frustrated with a president who has not delivered on social or economic reforms.
حالا من الان پدرم داره کار مهاجرتم درست بکنه که برم، یعنی اول میخواستم همینطوری برم، بعد پدر مادرم گفتن که نمیشه اینطوری، مثلا مهاجرتی تو بگیریم بری از این راه. ولی راستش خودم دوست دارم برم چون اونجا خیلی هم از نظر امکانات امنیت خیلی بهتره. ولی خب از یه طرفم ایرانو دوست دارم.
به نظرم اصلا هیچ اصلاحاتی تو کشور صورت نگرفت. یعنی اصلا آقای خاتمی ما خودمون دوستایی هستن که الان اینجا هستن، روزی که قرار بود رأی بدیم همه زنگ زدیم با هم قرار گذاشتیم که همه لباسا یه دست مرتب به خاطر اینکه مثلا احترام بذاریم به این شخصیت به آقای خاتمی. همه با هم زنگ زدیم، همه یه شکل یه جور بلند شدیم رفتیم 3-4 تا ماشین جمع کردیم به زور رفتیم رأی دادیم. بعد اومدیم هیچ تأثیری نداره، اصلا دیگه صداشون در نمیاد، مثلا حرف نمیزنن، نمیدونن مثلا ما نمیدونیم کجا هستن.
رئیس محترم
Parliament is one place in Iran where reformers are visible and active. 2/3 of the MPs here are under the age of 40. The reformers won a landslide victory in parliamentary elections 2 years ago. For a brief moment, it looked as though the parliament, or Majlis, would become an engine for change.
مجلس میتوانه تصمیمات اساسی داشته باشه، اما متاسفانه امروز اون شکل وجود نداره و ما نمیتوانیم همه خواستهای ملت رو به شکل قانونی و مصوب در بیاریم و مسیر آینده رو برای ملت باز کنیم.
Iran is effectively ruled from here, not from its parliament. This is the holy city of Qom, the heartland of Islamic theology and home to 20,000 clerics. Immediately after the reformers won the parliamentary elections, the religious establishment launched a counterattack. It used its control over the judiciary to muzzle the parliament by prosecuting many of its members.
ببینید، وقتی که قانونی وجود داره احترام به اون ضروریه. بنابراین اگر کسانی قانون رو نقض کنن به تناسب نوع جرمی که انجام دادن جریمه‌ای در انتظار اونا خواهد بود و فرق نمی‌کنه که این افراد روزنامه‌نگار باشن، سیاستمدار باشن، افراد مسئولین عالی رتبه باشن، تفاوتی بینشون نیست.
When reformist MP Hossein Loghmanian spoke out against the political arrests and the closure of liberal newspapers, he paid the price. For denouncing the hardline mullahs, Loghmanian was sentenced to 10 months in jail. A total of 60 MPs were prosecuted for their reformist beliefs, and Parliament was crippled. This was the critical moment last October when power started to shift back to the Parliament. When it became clear that Loghmanian would be jailed at Iran's notorious Ivan prison, Parliamentary Speaker Mahdi Karoubi announced he had had enough.
بنده آخرین حرف میده این کار صحیح نمیدونم، این کار غیر قانونی میدونم، این مخالف قانون اساسی میدونم.
In an extraordinary act of defiance, the Speaker walked out of Parliament. The vast majority of MPs followed. This was an unprecedented protest, and what followed was equally unprecedented. Loghmanian returned to Parliament to a hero's welcome. In the first significant win for the reformists, the judiciary had overturned their verdict. Loghmanian was released on January 15th this year, after serving only 3 weeks of his jail term. A month later, more reform leaders were released from prison.
نمایندگان مجلس متوجه قدرت و ظرفیت قدرت خودشون شدن، به این دلیل که بیش از گذشته مردم رو مصمم‌تر میکنه، به این دلیل که اصلاحات و اصلاح طلبان امیدوارتر شدن و در مجموع شرایطی رو پیش آورد که ما رو یک قدم به جلو برد.
The Palestinian Authority says it knows nothing about the ship, accusing
The most remarkable example of Parliament's newfound confidence is a move to investigate America's claims of Iran's support for terrorism. Iran is accused of smuggling arms to Palestinian militants aboard a vessel intercepted by the Israelis earlier this year. The reformers suspect that the Revolutionary Guards, controlled by the hardliners, are responsible. Loghmanian and his parliamentary colleagues want to prosecute whoever was behind the arms smuggling. If they succeed, this will be a massive blow to the conservative forces.
و ما در داخل ایران این کشمکش رو داشتیم و ممکن هم است که ادامه داشته باشن. در یک لایه از حکومت یک سری خودسری‌های صورت میگیره که در واقع مجلس خیلی نمیتوانه در اونجاها دست کنترلی داشته باشه. بنابراین اون بخشایی که اتفاق میفته از اون ناحیه است و مثالی هم که رخ میده اخبارش خیلی درز نمیکنه و در همون لایه میمانه، اما ما متوجه میشیم که حوادث این چنینی رخ داده و مجلس هم دوستدار این است که این مثالی که در ایران اتفاق میفته کاملا ضابطه‌مند باشه، زیر نظر مجلس باشه. اما عرض کردم که اون لایه وجود داره و ما مشکلاتی داریم در مملکت از این نظر.
After September 11, Iran's reformers found themselves working with the Americans as part of an unofficial alliance to oust the Taliban from Afghanistan. Iran was a long-time supporter of the Northern Alliance and instructed it to fight with the Americans. Iran even offered to rescue American pilots shot down over its territory.
North Korea is a regime arming with missiles and weapons of mass destruction while starving its citizens. Iran aggressively pursues these weapons and exports terror, while an unelected few repress the Iranian people's hope for freedom. States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world.
For the reformers, President Bush's speech was a slap in the face.
اون چی که من میتوانم الان با توجه به اطلاعاتی که دارم بگم این است که بحث نمایندگان این است که به طور کلی مثالی که هست با نظارت مجلس باشه، اما حکومت ما خب دو لایه است. یک لایه از حکومت ما حرکاتی داره که خارج از کنترل مجلسه.
Bush's speech ended any relationship the reformers had with America. On the street, demonstrations of anti-American feeling became more violent. The hardliners used the US president's speech as proof that reformers were misguided and irresponsible. To make matters worse, America also accused Iran of meddling in Afghanistan. In fact, President Khatami says his government is committed to helping make Afghanistan stable and secure. Iran has pledged $1.1 billion for reconstruction over the next 5 years. America has only given about half that amount. Iran has an investment in Afghanistan security. It wants the 2.5 million Afghan refugees living in Iran to return home.
The international community didn't come with important amount of money to help Iran assisting these people. Then basically the effort was made by Iran without a concrete effort made by the international community. And this is a very difficult situation for Iran. I think that since the events of the 11th of September, we were able to show a little bit more about the effort made by Iran, and that the international community now is more open to assist Iran assisting these refugees.
با هم کار میکنن. درسته بنویس کریم و
Iran has provided shelter for many Afghan refugees since 1996. As Shia Muslims, the refugees were persecuted and expelled by the Sunni Taliban, but they have a strong cultural link with Iran. When the Taliban fell from power, the children in this school for Afghan refugees celebrated.
از اتفاق 11 سپتامبر که رسانه‌های گروهی اعلام کرد که طالبان سرکوب شدن و از بین رفتن، بچه‌ها خیلی شادی می‌کردن و از من می‌خواستن که خانم مدیر شما اجازه بدین ما یک جشنی رو برپا بکنیم که قول میدیم لطمه به درسمون هم نزنه و من یک ساعت یک زنگ از درسشون رو اختصاص دادم برای جشنشون و هر کلاسی با سلیقه خودشون کلاس هاشون رو تزیین کردن، کیک خریدن، شیرینی آوردن، میوه آوردن و شادی کردن.
America's condemnation of Iran has failed to take account of its positive contribution to the region. Iran's reformists are now forced to contend with America's hardliners as well as their own. But the student movement, which provides much of the impetus for reform, is pushing for change nonetheless. Ali Afshari is a student leader who was jailed without trial for a year for conspiracy to overthrow the regime. He spent 11 months in solitary confinement. He called this press conference to apologise for a forced confession he made in prison. Afshari said a team of interrogators tortured him for 20 days before he finally confessed.
وقتی این اتفاق رخ میده فرد یا متهم شخصیتش فرو میریزه، احساس ارزشمند بودن خودش از دست میده، احساس کرامت نمیکنه، نمیتونه به گذشته فکر کنه، نمیتونه به آینده. در اون مقطع بر اساس فشارهایی که بهش وارد میشه به حال سطح مقاومتش تنزل پیدا میکنه به چونه زنی در خواست تیم بازجویی که تیم بازجویی بعدش موقعیت مسلط رو پیدا میکنه.
But Afshari also called the press conference to give a warning. He said the religious hardliners were doing everything in their power to undermine the student movement.
اینجاست که اینا پشت شعار استقلال جنبش دانشجویی پنهان شدن و در از ایزولگی جنبش دانشجویی و جدا شدنش از جنبش اصلاح طلبی و اثرگذاریش در جامعه تحقیق می‌کنه.
Afshari's warnings proved accurate. A week after this press conference, the student headquarters in Tehran was ransacked by security forces and 40 students were arrested. Ali Afshari himself was re-imprisoned the day after this press conference. Eight days later, the students came out fighting. The arrest of Afshari and other activists had not intimidated the reform movement, but emboldened it. They organised a rally flanked with signs that read, "Death to dictatorship" and "Students awake." This is Saeed Hajarian, once one of President Khatami's closest advisors. He engineered the reformist victory in Parliament 2 years ago. It's a rare public appearance for the man who was also the first victim of the conservative backlash. Less than a month after the parliamentary election, Hajarian was shot in the head by 2 men on motorcycles and left for dead. For the students, Hajarian's presence was a huge morale boost, but also a sobering reminder of how much work lies ahead. The most remarkable part of the rally was a speech by reformist cleric Dr. Mohsen Kadavar. Dr. Kadavar urged the students to make greater sacrifices for their cause.
آزادی را در سبد زرین در سینه زرین به در خانه کسی نمی آورد. برای گرفتن آزادی بیش از این هزینه لازم است. و ما در مقایسه با دیگر جامعه اصلاح طلبی در دیگر کشورها هنوز هزینه فراوانی نپرداخته.
Then Dr. Kadavar called on hardline clerics to get out of politics.
قدرت همانند آب است. آب اگر در جایی راکد بماند می‌گردد. برای بقای برای سلامت قدرت چاره‌ای جز به جریان آب افتادن آب ندارد. آب باید رودخانه باشد، در گذر باشد تا پاک و پاکیزه بماند.
This speech from Dr. Kadavar shows how assertive the reform movement has become. What's more significant is that it's an attack from a cleric, an insider. 3 years ago, his hardline colleagues imprisoned him for speaking out like this.
از دین استفاده ابزاری نشود. دین را دین نردبان ارتقاء به سوی خداست، نه ابزار رسیدن به دنیا. بگذارید بگوییم در این 2 دهه آیا جامعه را دیندارتر کرده اید یا از دین گریزانتر کرده اید؟ ملاک کامیابی شما در این نکته نهفته است. بپذیریم نهاد سیاست از نهاد دین میباید مستقل بماند.
Dr. Kadavar has emerged as the leader in a new religious school of thought, incorporating democratic ideals into Islam. His provocative ideas resonate with the students.
والا حرفایی که تو این برنامه زده شد یه سری حرفا بود که در طی چند سال گذشته به صورت پراکنده حالا از این طرف اون طرف شنیده میشد، اما اینکه من برای اولین بار این حرفا رو یک جا شنیدم و به صورت منسجم آشنا شدم بیشتر با مسائلی که مطرح است، این خیلی عالی بود برام.
خواهند خورد و دموکراسی و اسلامگرایی 2 دیوار بلندن که اصلا به هم دیگه پیوند نخواهند و این یک سرابه که خودشون الان اعتراف کردن که ما به بنبست رسیدیم. آقای خاتمی اصلاحات و اینها که میخوان دموکراسی دینی ایجاد کنن و این 2 مقوله متضاد رو با هم مخلوط کنن به بنبست میرسن و اشتباه اروپا رو دارن تکرار میکنن، یعنی 10,000 سال قرون وسطا.
Hadavi Tehrani is one of 1,000 ayatollahs in Iran. He says the political reform Dr. Kadavar and the students are demanding is not acceptable. As a senior cleric, he has the authority to interpret Islamic law for the regime.
Islamic theology introduced a system. And this system, if you accept some parts and do not accept the other parts, you have not really accepted the Islamic system. You have not really accepted the Islamic concept. Even in the parts that you have accepted, it is not really Islamic when it is out of the system, when it is out of the whole that has been introduced by the Islam. And therefore, this kind of interpretation, we think that has been imported inside the Islamic culture by some of the thinkers that have been under the influence of the Western culture.
In spite of the Ayatollahs, the parliament is continuing to press for reforms. They have just passed a bill to stop confession under duress and torture in prison.
با تحولاتی که در ایران پیدا شده و با وجود نمایندگان فعال و جوانی که تو این دوره از مجلس بوده، مجلس تقریبا ظرف 2 سال گذشته درسته به دشواری اما راهی رو شروع کرده و به نظرم میاد که مسیر آینده زمان مجلس رو بیشتر جلوه‌گری خواهد کرد، بیشتر خودش رو نشان خواهد داد. بنابراین برداشت من این است که مجلس در آینده میتونه جایگاه خودش رو با کوشش و تلاش نمایندگان و فشار افکار عمومی و مردم ایران که دوست دارن که مجلس جایگاه خودش به دست بیاره، این جایگاه به دست میاره.
In the ongoing struggle between reformers and hardliners, it's difficult to grasp who is winning at any given time. But the present battle will prove crucial. The mullahs still hold the power. And they will have to decide whether to give the reformers and the people of Iran the freedom to pursue democracy or to risk greater unrest and threats by denying it.
Yes.